So, first up, we have Mitra. What are you going to be talking to us about today?
Freelancing is a broad topic and it's always popular. Everybody feels like identified with it. I mean, of everybody here, how many of you have ever freelanced sometime? 80% of the room, right? So this talk is aimed to people who are considering going freelance, part-time or full-time. And I'm going to talk about some of the mistakes I made when I did it myself and how you can avoid them. So a bit about myself. I've been a freelance web developer for the last 3 years by now. And before that, I worked at an ad agency and then a call center as a web developer, and then at an e-commerce startup as a front-end developer as well. So when I first considered freelancing, I was so into the idea of working on the beach, having my own business, being professional, having freedom, and setting my own money, and being myself. So when my freelance gigs started making enough money so I can leave my job, I quit just right away. So first month into it, I was very optimistic about it. I was pumped, all excited, let's do it. And I've been talking with potential clients, having a meeting or two, and was all ready to work. Then 1 week goes by, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and a month. So by the second month, I'm not really sure what the heck I'm doing. I'm a bit nervous by that time, and I was still not going crazy because I saved 3 months of expenses before making the jump, but still no answer from any client. So I had no horizon. Yeah, the gift came in late, but that's okay. So by the third month, now I'm going crazy. Now I'm panicking. I have no money left. No clients have called me, and it'd be 4 months before I received my first paycheck from my job. It was actually a friend of my friend that needed to set up a Shopify store, and I charged her $200 for it. You can see, I was desperate for money. So what happened? Where things went wrong? First, I didn't save enough money. I'd recommend you save at least 6 months to have enough cushion for it. I had zero sales and marketing experience. I was a developer. I just graduated from technical school. I was a software developer, not a marketer. I didn't know how to market myself, how to sell software. And most importantly, I didn't secure any client before making the jump. You need to have a paid contract before you decide to go freelance. It's like common sense, but when you're in the heat of the things, you're all excited, some of this stuff just goes in the air. So if you are considering going freelance, you need to know some things. This is like a checklist. You need to say, yes, I can handle that. Maybe I can be a freelance, or no, I can't handle that, so maybe I shouldn't be a freelance. First, are you risk tolerant? Just like in any business, you will have to handle uncertainty. A freelancer handles more uncertainty than a normal 8 to 5 job. So we have more moving parts like accounting, marketing. Imagine any business. It needs to do sales. You need to have meetings. You need to set up bids. You need to work with contracts, handle lawyers. So lots of moving parts means more things that can go wrong. So you need to be okay with that. Sorry, my English is not all that great. I've been in New York for a week after 10 years in the Dominican Republic. So bear with me. If I say something and you are like, what did he say? Like you just interrupt and I try to repeat myself, okay? So when you are a freelancer, you're running a business, like you're a one-man business. So the business is 24/7 on your mind. Like you ask any entrepreneur and that's all he thinks about. So when you're not writing code, you're working to get more work. I didn't get any kind of vacations for the, let's say, the first 2 years. I didn't take not a day of vacation. Then I take like 4 days in the holidays, and that was it. And another one is, do you have a head for numbers? Like, can you see a balance sheet and not be scared? Do you have the discipline to control yourself, to manage your expenses, to manage money? I know a guy that you give him $100 and he just blows it the same day. So being a freelance, if you're a freelancer, you just can't have that. And I think this is the most important thing. Your network is your biggest asset. Like, how many people do you know? How many meetups are you attending? Like, the fact that you guys are already here, it's a step in the right direction. You really never know when the business is going to come from. And that's the lifeblood of your business. If you know 1,000 people, you have more chances of landing any job than somebody that just knows 100 people. So there are several ways so you can increase that social reach to meet more people. And they differ in quality. Like, coming to meetups has high quality of networking because you're interacting with people of your same field. And the odds of somebody landing you a job in a meetup are pretty high compared to just participating in Facebook groups or answering questions on Quora or things like that. So also you can make a lot of friends, people that share the same interests as you. Then let's talk about winning clients. Like, what does that mean? Well, for me, when you win a client is when first they agree to work with you and they pay, and second, when they refer you to someone else or repeat a job with you. Like, they call you again, like, let's work again, I really like what you did. So how can we increase our chances of having clients do that with us? Like, repeating work with us and securing them. The first thing I think was the most important realization I had was to think in terms of the value you provide, not just in the code you ship, but what problems are you actually solving for them. Sometimes clients are going to come to you with problems that don't even require any coding or programming skills. And all they want is to have their problem solved. And if you don't need to code to solve their problems, that's even better. It's easier money most of the times. For example, I had a client that asked me for a website, a simple website that you could make using Wix or Squarespace, any of these website builders. So a good way to provide value is just telling them, like, you could use just Wix for that. You don't have to pay $5,000 for a developer. You can save all that money. But if you want me to do it for you, I can charge you less than that because it's an easier job. And they'll be like charmed with it. You're just providing a lot of value to them by saving them money. On the long run, it's going to be better because you're going to build a stronger relationship with that client. But if you really have no jobs, like no work, then you should consider like doing an upsell with him. But most of the times, I prefer just to provide value directly, all the value that I can give from day one. The minute you pick the phone, you have to try to provide them the more value than the most amount of value that you can provide. So Another thing that I missed completely was in the communication side of things. A lot of stuff can be said in a phone call. Like you can have a 30-minute phone call and requirements flying around in that phone call, and if you don't have all that stuff written down and your client doesn't have it, then it easily gets lost. And then you risk having a conflict with the client. So one of the things that you should have, written contracts, and that's a topic for a whole talk, like how to handle those contracts, how to hire a lawyer, and how to work with them. There are many contracts online that are pretty basic, so you can get familiarized, so you can familiarize yourself with them. Another thing I like to use is IM instant messaging, because when you have a conversation via instant messaging, it's already there for eternity. Like you have proof of what was said. So the thing with speaking on the phone is what I said before. After you have a conversation with the client, it's great to send a summary, a written summary to that client of everything that was said. So then we'll talk about pricing your work. Like the first thing you need to know is what are your monthly costs? That's accounting 101. What do you need to operate? What do you need in order to keep your business alive? So after you have your costs, you should know what's the rate for other developers in your skill set in terms of the area you live in. I mean, like in New York, I think a junior web developer salary should be around like $70,000 a year. So you convert that to months. Here I said like $6,000 a month. It's easier for me to put it in a monthly amount because you can work with the costs better. So after that, you translate the monthly amount to an hourly rate. There are several websites that can do that for you if you're not that into math. And after that, you just add it. It's really easy. So that amount will give you like the base rate you should be asking around for your work. So after you have the base rate, it's important to know that your danger zones are your cost. I mean, if you have $3,000 a month of costs, of fixed costs, you need to make $70 an hour in order to like survive. You don't want to be there. You want to be from 52 and up to infinity. If you can charge like $200 an hour, then you're awesome. Keep doing it. So the next step is getting a budget. After you know what's your rate and you have a client, you need to know how much money they have to work with you. And most clients will not tell you. They simply won't. So you need to dig a bit deeper. One of the things I like to do is scheduling a little bit. Like, okay, so you have $500,000 for this work. And then you're going to be like, no, less. $80,000, less. $70,000, and then you get the number. Like, I have $10,000 for this work, for this project, excuse me. And from that number, then you can start making an estimate. So the thing with estimating software projects is that software developers, we like to be very optimistic about it. We like to think that we can do that in 2 weeks. Like, we are awesome, like we work, we are great developers. We don't like to admit that it's gonna take more than that, and usually it takes a lot more than that. So the reason I think this happened is because we like to protect our ego. We like to know that we are good, and most of the time we are. So this can really work against you and make you underbid a project. And when you are working on a project that you had underbidded, you just get angry about it, and that splashes to the client, and it just becomes a really, really bad experience. So if you think a project's going to take 2 weeks, it's 4 or 5, anything but not 2. Like, forget about it. So that's all I got. Like, thank you. I'm looking forward to meet you all, guys. It was a quick presentation. I guess I wanted to save some time for all the questions, and if anybody has any experience about freelancing they want to share, it's great. So everybody can just talk about it, like between each other.
What's the worst client you've ever had?
You see, the Dominican Republic is famous for its corruption, right? Especially from their politicians. So I had one politician. This guy wanted to build a system to manage all the state-related, how can I say it? You see, the government buys lots of pencils and paper for schools, like exact supplies. That's the word. Thank you. And this guy wanted to build a website to manage all that. His goal was to end corruption with it. I mean, I was like, okay, I share your beliefs. I'm excited about it. I hope this country gets better with it. So let's do it. What happened was that he got there. Like every step of the way, people from the government just took money from him. And the budget of the project just fell, like declined. Like we had, I think it was like $10,000 to do it, and in the end it was like $3,000. So I was like, man, you owe me a lot of money, so what are we gonna do? So I bring in my lawyer. That's why you need contracts. And we made an agreement, and the guy just vanished from the country. Like he just vanished from the country. When he saw the amount he had to pay in interest, he had like 2 years of interest. He owed me like 2 years of interest from it, and he just vanished. Yeah, and all the work was lost. It was a really bad experience. Yeah, I think that's the worst one. Yeah. Yeah, please.
So again, I don't know if this applies knowing that you're in DR, but like, do you work as an independent contractor, or do you have a business that you operate under?
No, I'm an independent contractor right now because I've been in New York for a week, but then I plan to like operating on a business, like making an LLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what will probably be easier for freelance, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's okay, man. Yes, please.
Have you ever sold your services through a site like Upstart or Fiverr? And if so, or if not, like how did you get your clients? Like,
No, I don't go to Upwork or
so
Freelancer.
how do you get your clients?
Meetups like this. I mean, don't
So
be.
developers want to hire you to develop?
Yeah. Sometimes not only developers, but you get known by coming to meetups, and you meet other developers. Usually have clients that they simply can't take, and you too have clients that you simply can't take. So when I get a client that I just can't work with them for any reason, I just pass it on to somebody else. And you basically meet, your knowledge about technology just increases greatly from this kind of interactions. Yes.
Have you ever had a scenario where maybe another web developer tried taking your client, maybe thought he could provide better value, and if so, how did you handle that? Maybe they said, oh, we have a lower price, and you try to like, he or she's offering a lower price.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, but because the factors, you don't know who the other developer really is,
Sure.
and what kind of agreement he's making with the client. So one of the things I like to do is to put a clause in the contract that if you hire me as a front-end developer, I'm the only front-end developer in that team. That applies if the project is not big, that you need like 3 front-end developers. And if you need 3 front-end developers, if the client needs 3 front-end developers, then that's stated in the contract. That's one way to do it. Yeah. Please.
What technologies have made you the most money?
That's a good one. JavaScript. yeah, JavaScript.
Any particular like JavaScript technologies?
React. It's hot right now. So my clients are willing to pay a bit more for it. Yeah.
So do clients say, I want a React developer, or do you propose React as the solution to their problem?
In this case, the client was looking for a React developer. Like, they're going to ask you, like, are you a React developer? I need one. So based on that, you can set a price. But sometimes I use React for projects that the client didn't really care what technology I was using. And most times, clients don't care about it. They just want the thing done. They just want the product in the market as fast as it can be placed in the market. Yes, please.
So since it seems that you engage only like face to face, you basically have clients only where you live, or you manage also to somehow, you travel a lot and you meet a lot of clients in other places. So how do you handle communication with your clients?
Skype.
Skype.
Yeah,
So how do you
really
engage
simple.
with them? Like you just find, so you basically say you find connection to your clients
Yeah.
through meetups, but then clients come from everywhere.
Yeah, not only meetups, friends from school, like refer a client to me, conferences too. Like I attend a conference, and usually one conference can give you that's my experience. I'm not speaking for everybody, but the last conference I went, I got from that like 3 clients, and I got work for 8 months, just from one conference. So if you just like engage with everybody, be friends with everybody. It's not that you're gonna, hey, I need work, hey, pay me. It's not like that. You have to be friends with everybody, and help without asking anything in return. It's just it sounds like basic human interaction. So it's really simple on paper. Please.
Just curious, how many of your clients are more end users that you're providing a solution for versus already have some technical expertise and sort of want you to add on to that?
I'd say 60% have some technical expertise. They're not developers, but some of them are web designers or product guys that have read a lot about development. So when you talk to them about databases, about Node.js, they have an idea of what you're talking about. So it makes the work so much easier. That's one of the advantages of getting your clients from technology circles, like conferences, meetups, all that kind of stuff. It sometimes gives you easier clients. Yeah, back there, please.
So some clients, sometimes they don't know exactly what they want their project to look like. So like, give you a bunch of ideas, they'll have it in their head, but they won't have like a clear picture of what it is. So once you start, sometimes like I had the experience where I worked with a client, he didn't know what he wanted, so I did something for him, and he was like, okay, let's revise this. And then I revise it, and then he'd be like, let's revise this again. Like, what type of limit should you set to the client on that? So, you know?
That's one of the reasons you need to set the budget on the first meeting, because the budget is going to be the cap for the client. I mean, if he asks you to build the entire infrastructure of Facebook, how much of the budget is going to take? That's going to take, and you tell him that's going to take a lot from the budget. Do you really prefer to do that, or this, and this? You know. And when you speak to clients in terms of money, they usually give you a lot of room to work, and they usually agree with you more. But the the mistake that I made when I started was to talk to the client as the client was another programmer or another developer. You need to be comfortable talking in business terms, like return of investment, like costs, or monthly revenue, or KPI, things like that. So basically, try to talk with them in business terms. Have a contract that states the features that you're going to build. And if the client really wants to add another feature to that project, to that website, for example, then you revise the contract. When you have a slower process in order to have newer features, clients tend to think it twice before asking you for them, because it's going to take time from them. So that's one way to manage that. I don't know if it was clear. Are you satisfied with it?
I guess I have one more question. One problem is it's more of the design, the look of it.
Okay.
Yeah, if they can't settle on design, but you have to create your own design that matches what they describe to you. Like if the client wants something that looks like Facebook, right?
Okay.
For example, and you make something that looks like Facebook, but it's not exactly what he wants. And how do you balance that? Do you just say, okay, you're gonna accept it as it is? That's part of it. If you don't like it, then I'm gonna charge you extra. If you want to change it again.
Of course. If you need to work more, you have to charge more. That's given. He needs to understand that everything he asks costs money, and you just remind him all the time. Those clients are called scope creeps. They like just to have everything in their application, in their website. So the scope creeps, you put them in line by just reminding them and saying no a lot. No, you're gonna waste all your money. You're gonna lose all your money if you do that. All your money is going to go away if you do that. Don't do that. And they usually comply.
So question, what percentage of work that you've taken on has there been already existing visual design that you're just doing the back end on or front end development on, compared to you having to do it yourself and having to use a little bit of your creativity?
I'd say 75% already has a design.
Okay.
The current project that I have, I'm doing everything. I'm doing design, back end, front end, all the stuff. The client just said, I want you to do everything. That happened because the two designers just bailed the project. They just said, no, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna leave all this at half, at 50% completion, and just disappear from there. And the client said, can you design? And I said, how much work do I have for the next 6 months? I have just one. I'm gonna be a designer now. So start reading. And I hired a friend of mine that it's a designer and told me, sit with me. I'm gonna pay you $20 an hour so you teach me everything you know about web design. And I just took a super crash course for like 2 weeks and got my design skills to a level that I could actually pull that project off. So, and that's one way you can do it. It's a bit like Rambo style, but it works. Yeah.
So just going off of that, do you have experience working with, I think you were talking before about like say front end, the project where it has like, you need 3 front end designers or something like that.
Yeah.
And working with other people and say, like if you have, and sometimes they might like just bail on the project, like how do you handle that?
Well, usually the last word comes from the client because he's the one who's gonna pay for it. I mean, if you're a client and you have a team of 5 developers, like you have 5 developers because you need 5 developers, and 3 of them bail, then you're short, and you have to get three more. And getting developers and hire them is not as easy as it sounds. It's really an eye opener when you have to hire somebody else. like when you put yourself in the shoes of the client, you really see everything differently. So when that happens, I just like the project I just told you. I just sit with the client and say, I can talk to some guys and see if they have work, if they are available to work, and help you out to do this. I'm not going to charge you for that. I'm not an HR guy, but I want to get this project to see this project through. I want to finish it, and they usually comply. They usually receive that with open arms. And if they just simply, if we can simply get more developers, then increase the timeline. Like if we were supposed to launch 2 months from now, we're gonna launch in 6 months. I can do all the work, but it's gonna take me some time because maybe there are some technologies that I'm not fluent with and I have to read about it and learn. But I just want to tell you that I'm on your side. I want to finish this with you, and that's how you build a relationship that lasts for many years. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I was
Please.
gonna follow up with that.
This is going to be the last question.
Okay.
Yeah, I know basically about like how to, like say the fact that the timeline grows because you don't hear developers fail, like how you have that conversation with the client, because it's not their fault, they have nothing to do with that.
It's not my fault either that the other developers just vanished, and I just empathize with the problem instead of being scared or like he's gonna cut me off too or something. No, just say that you're there. You are there for him. Yeah. So that's the last question. So I think that's it, guys. If you have more questions, and you also speak Spanish, you can. I'll be around so we can talk. And thank you guys for listening. Yeah.
Awesome. So, as you can see, this is Carl. What are you going to be talking to us about today?
I'm going to be telling you about. So I want to talk to you about